Hi, my name is Alex Wiles, and thank you for watching MMPTV, where we tell the untold stories of those uniting across struggles to build a movement to end poverty. Today, we're joined by Nicole Son-Culbreth. Nicole is a special education teacher at Hill Freeman Middle School and has been a member of Teacher Action Group since the 2011-2012 school year. TAG Philly is a group of educators and their allies working together to create change around education reform in Philadelphia. We'll be talking about the role of Teacher Action Group in the fight for Philadelphia's public education. Thanks for coming on today.
Thanks for having me.
How are you doing?
Doing good.
All right, that's great to hear. So tell us why you joined the Teacher Action Group in the first place.
Well, I've been teaching for 5 years, and I feel very passionate about teaching. And it's been hard for me to watch what has happened from the time that I started teaching until now. It's sad what the education system in Philadelphia looks like, and I've always been an activist at heart, and so I wanted to make a difference.
Okay, so what are some of the major issues that our public schools are facing right now that you were talking about?
Well, there's a lot of things. I think the major issue is that there's an issue with not giving the schools the resources that they need to function appropriately. And what I mean by that is, there's lack of supplies, books, different things that teachers need in order to teach this. As a teacher, I probably pay about $300 to $400 out of my pocket every year just to make up for the supplies that I don't receive from my school to teach my students.
Really? Do you think that it's undervalued, what you do, and how it affects the community?
Yes, absolutely, and not just me. I think every teacher who's going through the same things that I'm going through. It's not just in special education, it's everywhere, What we do as teachers is underappreciated and undervalued, and, again, that's why I feel like it's important to tell our stories, so that people know what we're actually doing for our students.
So TAG gives you a voice and a venue to make it known.
The issue is that our voices as teachers are stifled. I mean, we do have a union, but when we speak up, we are still not heard. Administration has their own problems to deal with as far as making budgets work. So me talking about my classroom, they care, but they're like, well, I have to worry about this and I have to worry about that. So the way the system is set up, teachers, I think, are afraid sometimes to speak up. They're afraid maybe that, they'll be, under-resourced specifically, maybe they're afraid that, people will think something wrong about them, that they're speaking up. I'm not sure why, but I've noticed in my school that some teachers might be afraid to speak up sometimes.
So what does a teacher as an organizer look like?
I think that as teachers, we're organizers every day. We have to juggle many different jobs. We have to wear many different hats. We have to be able to teach students on many different levels every day, and I think organization comes into that very well. But I think also being the person in your school that's willing to speak for all the other teachers, and getting them to also speak up. And TAG is really, actually, we're right now working on holding a training over the summer, basically an organizing institute, so that we can teach teachers how to better organize their coworkers.
So when it comes to things like professional development, how does having teachers who are leaders help with that? How does it foster professional development?
So what we do as TAG, and a big part of our empowerment, is to teach each other how to break out of this cookie cutter curriculum and and teaching to the test, and basically teach our students what they need to learn, right?
Right.
To become better citizens and to advocate for themselves. So being our own professional development leaders is very empowering, because again, we're not waiting for someone else. We're saying, well, listen, I need professional development. I need to know how to get my students to this point, but nobody's giving it to me. So you know what? I need to give it to myself. I need to learn about it. And I think just having that support system as well, of having other teachers who maybe have their own issues and skills that they need to learn, but then also having something to offer someone else as well. So I may have a skill, in curriculum.
Right.
And another teacher might have a skill in organizing.
And you guys could work
We can work together
and share those skills.
Exactly.
In order to accomplish your goals more easily.
Exactly.
All right. What about the curriculum fair?
Yes, so TAG every year has our curriculum fair and citywide summit. And the curriculum fair goes back to what we were talking about, professional development. So in the months leading up to the curriculum fair, we have what we call inquiry to action groups. And what these are groups of...
Inquiry to action groups?
Yes, ITAGs is what we call them for short. And what they are when I talked about some teachers might have certain skills that they want to build upon, but there's not an offering in their school or in the district. We have different workshops on different groups for different professional development opportunities, and we're learning ourselves, we're teaching each other. And the purpose is not just to learn about it, but then to take action, to do something that's going to make a difference.
Right.
Surrounding that.
So not just a discussion.
Right.
Although that is important, but
yes.
After the discussion, there's action. There's proactivity that makes it so the problem is changed.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And so after we have that, then we have the curriculum fair, which is breakout sessions talking about what those groups came up with as their actions, and teaching other people how to take what we talked about and put it into action themselves. And then at the end of the curriculum fair, it's sort of two parts. The second part is the citywide summit, and that again goes back to community building and networking and bringing together people from the community, from different organizations, and saying, hey, we just did all of this wonderful brainstorm. We talked about all this stuff. We're talking about all these actions. What are we going to do next? What are our next steps? How are we going to work together to improve education in Philadelphia?
And of course, that provides, a good model for other people who want to do something similar. All right, we have a video from the curriculum fair, so let's check it out now.
And it pains me to see what has happened and what is happening to public education across this country, not just here in Philadelphia, but in cities like Chicago, New York, Washington, D.C. You name it, it's happening. And the corporate agenda, the corporate reform model is something that we all have to fight against.
All of TAG is a 100% member organization. We're all full-time teachers, hence Teacher Action Group. So it really is people from different learning environments, different buildings coming together and just sharing both our skills, our resources, and also creating sort of this unified vision for teaching and learning in Philadelphia. The most exciting thing is the networking and the community, and then the inspiration that comes from that. There are so many schools, there are so many organizations, there are so many youth that come that are all doing really great things in their individual environments, but during the grind of the school year, you don't have a chance to meet people, you don't have a chance to sort of rise above whatever's going on in your space. And so this is really a chance for people to connect, to learn from each other, to pick up resources, if that's as basic as like a lesson plan or a teaching tool, but also then the bigger picture of like, we need to organize because we need to protect the good that's happening, and we need to fight back against forces that are seeking to dismantle public education. So it's the sharing, but then also the collective building.
I'm an advocate for my kids, and so whatever I do, it has to go towards that goal. So I'm here because I think that being here at the TAG event helps me advocate for my students. And that's why I would spend a Saturday doing it, because it empowers me to be a better advocate. I know I keep saying that word, but I think it's so essential. So I will do things that I think are productive in terms of helping me reach that end goal of, and my classroom is a microcosm, but if Philadelphia knows about my classroom, then Philadelphia will want to help my classroom.
All right, so what are some of the next steps in TAG's work across the city?
Some of the next steps that are coming up, we're thinking about having an event where we have retired teachers, people who used to be a part of the PFT, the union, and talk about what happened back when they were striking. Another thing that we're doing is that, like I said, we're having, I think I did already mention this, but we're having an organizers training in the summer. So we want to just talk about how we can organize better, maybe have people from different organizations who are experts in organizing, have people from AFT come in and speak on that, and maybe even show some clips and learn some, because it's good to learn lessons from what other people have done. And I know myself as a teacher, I'm always trying to take every opportunity and see it as a learning experience. So trying to look and see where we can learn, like looking at different situations that look similar to ours, and how can we learn from that, and how can we build upon that.
When it comes to issues like school closures, underfunding, disinvestment, under-resourcing, things like that, and TAG also, how can people get involved?
Well, what TAG likes to do is tell stories. We like to tell our stories because we think that telling our stories is a way to let people know what's really going on. Flipping the script is one of our big slogans that we use a lot, because there's a lot of times there's stories about what is actually going on. People try to paint teachers as greedy and only caring about themselves, and so we like to flip the script and say, no, this is actually what's going on. Teachers are spending their own money. Teachers are working extra hours without pay. Teachers are doing all of these things because they care about their students, and that's one thing that will help, because the more people know about it, the more people we can have on our side to fight for us. And also what we're doing is we are working with PCAPs and other organizations to come up with ideas on how to increase the budgets for Philadelphia schools and stop the schools from closing. Actually, I have a little story. Bieber Middle School was actually on the closure list, and one of our core members of TAG is a teacher at Bieber Middle School. And TAG, because of TAG and because of PCAPs and all the other community organizations, Bieber Middle School was able to stop the closure. So Bieber Middle School is not closing.
It's a victory, right?
It's a victory.
That's
and
good.
I think that's something that people need to know, because we try to organize, and sometimes you get people who are like, well, this isn't doing anything, all this rallying, it makes no difference, we're doing all this stuff, but they're still going to do what they're going to do. But I'd like to tell that story because it empowers people and it makes them realize you can make a difference. As long as you work hard and you take action and you work together, you can make a difference.
All right, sounds very empowering. Just for people to hear about the victories that have been won. So how can people stay updated on TAG's activity and the things that you're doing in your events?
Yeah, well, we have a website. It's www.tagphilly.org. We also have a Facebook page and a Twitter, and you can go on to our website to find out the links to our Facebook and our Twitter. And if you want to become a member of TAG, you can find out on our website how to do that as well. And I also want to point out that TAG is not just a teacher organization. We do have TAG members who are not teachers. We have TAG members who are counselors, who are social workers, who are tutors, so retired teachers. Right. So it is open to everyone who really feels passionate about education and about empowering teachers. All
right, so anyone can join. It's a very diverse membership.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, well, thank you so much for being
you.
here today. Shared a lot of great information. At MMP, we know that struggles for education, healthcare, housing, and living wages are deeply connected, and that it's going to take a movement to ensure that people are put first. Stay tuned on PhillyCam at MediaMobilizing.org. I'm Alex Wiles, and thank you for watching MMPTV.